Today is the beginning of a long series of videos analyzing Journal 3 and giving my thoughts on it. If you don't have the journal yet and you want to avoid spoilers, then click off this video right now. There are tons of secrets, codes, and interesting things that happened in the journal. I want to talk about all of it, so there will be many of these videos. Also, if you're wondering why the quality isn't the best, it's because these photos were taken from my phone camera since I couldn't find a digital version of the journal. Now that I've got the introduction out of the way, let's begin the Journal 3 analysis. Alright, so this is the first page in the journal. It says Parks Department, State of Oregon, and I'm not going to read all this because that would take way too long and it would be a very, very long series. But I want to say that this was actually what Alex Hirsch made on Twitter, and I made a video about that recently. He made this Twitter account called Oregon State Parks Department or something like that, and he had everyone fooled that it was actually Oregon. Eventually we found out that this is actually Alex Hirsch and this was a fake department. It didn't actually happen. If you want to see more about that, watch my video about Bill is a bird. Bill the bird theory. Alright, this is the next page. There's nothing really here. I mean, this is just what was seen on the show. Property of blank. You don't know who the author is right now. Volume 3. Ad astra per aspera, which is a phrase that means something like reach for the stars, I think. So he wants to reach for the stars and figure out all the mysteries of Gravity Falls. It's hard to believe it's been 6 years since I began researching the strange and wondrous secrets of Gravity Falls, Oregon. Now, these two pages are pages that were seen in the show, but we do get some text that we didn't see in the actual show, like my continuing mission: investigate the oddities of Gravity Falls, discover grand unified theory of weirdness, publish theory and join the ranks of Newton, Tesla, and Einstein in the pantheon of science. Now, this is interesting because Ford wanted to be like the great scientists, and we didn't know that about the show. Like, we were never told that Ford wanted to be as good as Einstein, because that's amazing. Also, if you look next to the eye on the mountain, you will notice these random symbols, and that's actually a code. I've been inside your mind, Sixer. I know your secrets. And this is obviously Bill's Cipher because he calls him Sixer, and Bill goes inside minds, and you can see the eye on the mountain, which is signifying Bill. And even on one of the first pages in the journal, we already see a reference to Bill. And that's just showing that he was in Ford's life for so long, ever since he started writing this journal. And Bill has a huge impact, and he's one of the main storylines in this journal, so you're going to learn more about that soon. Floating eyeballs, are they watching me? And then giant vampire bats. Now, there's not much here to analyze, like in terms of secrets, but I want to say the funny thing is that on the giant vampire bats page, we see that Ford talks about human blood, and then he says, I have not sampled human blood. Now, one thing I really like about this journal is that it's really funny at parts. Now, Ford is a character that is really serious at most times, but he does make a joke every now and again, and those jokes really lighten the mood of the darkness and despair of Gravity Falls. And I really like that because that part of the journal was just amazing, just seeing all this humor, and you'll see more of that very soon because there's humor on basically every page. This was another page seen in the show. It was the very first episode, and you'll notice that the blue text is actually Dipper's writing. Blue is Dipper because he spent a lot of time writing in the journal, just writing about all the experiences he's had, including the gnomes. Alright, so this page is Cursed Doors. There's not much to talk about with this either, but it's interesting because you see an eye on the door on the left page, and there are eyes and symbols everywhere. Just really weird symbols. These are two interesting pages. We have not actually seen this in the journal at all, so these are two specific pages to the journal that we haven't seen in the show. And if you notice, there's a red blot just on Ford's face. This is really weird, but if you notice, Ford probably did this himself because he doesn't want people to know that he's the author. He doesn't want it to fall into the wrong hands and then they would track him down or something. And he writes a lot about his introduction and who he really is. And if you notice on the bottom of the left page, there's a code. Birthday, June 15th. Death day is sooner than you think. This is a weird code because I think it's written by Bill or something, because I don't know why Ford would write that, and June 15th is his birthday and he's gonna die soon. Maybe that's because of Weirdmageddon or something, but I'm not sure about that. Now, on the top of the right page, we see another code. Little Kathy, what a dream, held her hand, made her scream. This is probably written by Ford, because if you hold a hand and you have 6 fingers, that's going to be really weird for the girl. and especially when she's not expecting it. But maybe Ford tried to talk with this girl, Kathy. Now, these 2 pages were not seen in the show, but you'll notice that he calls Bill Muse all the time, and he never actually refers to Bill by his actual name, Bill Cipher. This is probably because he doesn't want it to fall into the wrong hands, and people would think he's crazy if there's this being that just dictates whatever he does. But anyway, there's a code hidden in the trees, and this is probably one you didn't notice because it's hard to see, and there are just weird symbols just hidden on the trees. Spying on you was a breeze. There are eyes inside the trees. This is of course a reference to Bill being everywhere. He can see everything, he knows everything, because throughout Gravity Falls we see his eye in the tree all the time. One weird thing is that it says note, burn this page after research is complete on the right page, but this page isn't burnt. This page is actually in the journal. This is probably there because Ford wanted to research a lot more than he actually did, but he didn't get the chance because he unexpectedly flew in the portal and he got stuck there for 30 years, so he just forgot to burn this page, and it would have been bad if it fell into the wrong hands. That's it for the first part of the Journal 3 analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to give a thumbs up and comment below to tell me what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.